Hello and welcome to Sobrix. I'm Adam and this is Sobrix. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related content. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Lego Star Wars Dagobah Jedi Training Diorama. It is set number 75330. It contains 1,000 pieces and I paid $90 for this set. This is not the first Lego diorama I built. It may be the last. I'm not sure. I built the trench run diorama before this, and I will do a video about that trench run diorama as well. I understand there are some new dioramas that are coming out soon, and so I thought I would put out a video about this one and at this time and maybe the other one soon, just in preparation of that. So I do not have right out of the gate, I don't have the extra pieces. I built this a while ago, so I'm not sure what all the extra pieces are in here. I can kind of guess what most of the extra pieces are at the end, and I can point those out as I go. The first thing we will take a look at, because I don't know if my setup is perfect for this, instruction manual, very standard, but it is maybe notable. I don't know exactly when this set came out, but likely before they switched over their instruction design. So, as I said, it's the Dagobah Jedi Training Center, or training diorama. So this is Yoda's hut on Dagobah, and looking at this is bigger than, it's wider than the trench run diorama. Considerable amount more pieces, more expensive. The trench run diorama does not come with any minifigures, so I think we can take a look at the minifigures right away here first. And the first one I will show is this Yoda minifigure. Now, I don't know if these are exclusive to this set. If somebody knows, please leave it in the comments. The Yoda's okay, uses the shorter legs that don't bend at all. Yoda was somewhat tiny. The head mold is really, really good. It's kind of like the softer, rubbery kind of head, but the detail and the printing in the eyes is really good. I'm pretty happy with that mold. The printing on the torso is good. No extra printing on the arms or anything. The printing on the back is good as well. And we even get the little bit of hair, I presume, on Yoda there on the back. Not a terrible minifigure, actually a pretty good one. Like I say, I don't know if it's exclusive or not, but there are some good details. I like his little necklace or flute or whatever that thing is. In fact, on one of the older, actually the first like Yoda statuette thing that came out in the early 2000s, I have, as well as the newer one that came out in I think 2019, and the older one had a necklace like that using a Lego string piece and then some round 1x1 bricks to make that, and it's nice that it's included on here. So I'm happy with that minifigure. Then we have Luke. Again, I'm not aware if this is exclusive or not. I have a feeling this one is, but I'm not 100% positive. This one has more detailed printing. We do have printing on the legs, which is really nice. Printing on the midsection waist there, which is also good. The printing on the torso is nice. It's kind of a sleeveless shirt, so no printing on the arms, but the color tone for the arms and the head and the hands there matches pretty well for me. Hairpiece is, I think, the normal one that they have been using for Luke for a time. Back printing also quite good. And Luke does have an alternate face, I believe, maybe more in a meditative state or something with his eyes closed and whatever else. So that's good that that's included. And then one that I think is another, I consider it a minifigure. I think it's only been included in one other set, and that is this R2 unit, R2D2, with the mud splatter on it. So that's a mud splatter print job. I think it looks pretty nice. It even continues on the back with some mud splatter. No printing on the legs. I think that would have been a really cool inclusion here. And let me just check the printing on the head piece. This one is quite good. It's actually really good. There's not really any variance in the printing on the head being off center or one side being higher than the other. So I'm very happy that I got one with some good printing on the head. Sometimes these round printed pieces for droids can have pretty big differences, particularly like if you look at the back, maybe right under this mold mark crease in here, like one side will be higher than the other. And this one's really good. And you can even see there is some of the mud detailed printing on the head piece here. So this is nice. I think this is in maybe one other set, and I think that's just the trash compactor diorama, but I'm not positive. Still, I think the legs, it'd be really cool if they started printing them with the legs. I don't know. Back in the day, I don't think they ever even did back printing on R2 units. I think they could probably do that more, and I think they could probably do it on the legs as well. Even if that means, for me personally, we lose some of these molded details in the legs, if those can be kind of suggested through printing while also having more detail on here, I think I would be happier with that than having this indentation on the leg pieces. So those are the minifigures there, and I'm going to pop them off while we take a closer look at this diorama set. So like other dioramas, this comes with a printed placard for on the front with the Lego Star Wars. That's a print. Also comes with a quote. I don't remember what the trash compactor quote is. I think it's Han Solo saying something about we're gonna get flatter. And this one is a great Yoda quote: "Do or do not. There is no try," even though that seems kind of absolute, and only a Sith would deal in absolutes. And then the Trench Run diorama has another quote, I think a Vader quote about sensing the Force user or something. So we can see it's kind of the Dagobah swamp. We get a nice backdrop here of some swampy foliage area, which actually looks really good and serves to give this a lot of visual depth and visual weight. In the foreground, we have some floral elements of different colors indicating the swamp. We have a ton of these one by one translucent green tiles, some one by one translucent studs in there as well, which you can see the mold mark on, which is okay. And then some different plates underneath there of different colors to indicate different depths in the swamp there. Over on this side, we have this more built up with some more studs and round tiles. And then this is supposed to be the wing of an X-Wing, the sunken X-Wing, either when Luke is lifting it out of the swamp or when it had crash landed, I believe, on Dagobah and was submerged. So that's kind of the overview. It uses the same kind of black base that the other dioramas I have seen use, including like the Jurassic Park one, T Rex Breakout, used a similar black kind of border diorama. That one doesn't have these kind of lacquered silver grate elements on the side, or like all these Star Wars ones do. And I believe the new ones will continue to use this as kind of some extra detail to make this stand out. I did just lose a couple pieces from somewhere, and I will just put them there. One other thing that's included in here that is not a minifigure, but it's a little detail, it just can't be studded down, is this Lego snake. I think there's maybe a snake in the movie at this scene. I don't remember specifically. Whatever this is, it's a detail that's included in the set. I don't think I have this piece. Like I say, it can't be studded down, so it is loose on the model here, on the final diorama. A lot of the build is taken up doing the swamp area. It seems like a lot of 1x1 studs or 1x1 tiles or 1x1 plates. It is a lot. I found the experience of putting them on there very enjoyable. I tried to do an okay job of getting them all aligned, but I'm sure I didn't do an absolutely perfect job. But there was something kind of meditative about it, and kind of nice, and the way that it's done in the instruction manual is really neat. The page that it's on is really cool. I can actually I don't have it here with me anymore, but I was going to maybe show that. It might be available to see, but you basically put all the 1x1 plates in first, and then the next page, so there's a couple over here, and then like the structure that is underneath the land mass here and underneath the hut is already kind of built up, and then you put these translucent 1x1 plates in with these studs on them, and then you just basically fill in the rest with the tiles. And it's actually not too bad if you just go kind of row by row or column by column, or break it off into sections and just kind of systemically keep applying those tiles. And yeah, it was kind of meditative, which I think is fitting for the theme of the Jedi training diorama with Yoda. So it's kind of a meditative process building this. So I thought that was really, really nice. If we look, there's some extra details here. We have like a little lantern element. I think this is a lightsaber element, I believe, that Luke has. We do have these clear pieces so that Luke may balance upside down if you wish, which is good to have, just for extra, display stuff. And then the main bulk of this build is, well, besides the base and all these swamp stuff, is Yoda's hut itself, and all of this in the back. So some good uses of floral elements, or like leaf elements or big branch elements, which I think are good. A lot of different colors of brown, and like maybe dark green or different shades of brown. Some of them were hard for me as a colorblind person to tell apart. And so I don't know if I did it all 100% perfectly there, but I think this looks really good. And actually, if we turn it around to the back, there's a couple things we can point out, but it doesn't look too bad from the back, in my opinion. I wouldn't really ever display it. I don't think it's meant to be viewed from any angle here, but this is okay. And it's certainly better than the back of the, well, I think of the trash compactor, even though that does have something on the back, and of the trench run. This is okay. A lot of nice angles, good piece usage, and feels pretty organic. The combination of using, round 1x1 tiles, these round bricks, these 1x2 bricks with the kind of indentation there, and it's all built up with some nice curved pieces, and it feels very organic and viney and nice, including these elements that hang down. So that's pretty cool. I think the build for Yoda's hut is really interesting, actually, and it uses some pieces kind of well. We see some tan here on the side that, for like a window, that is like a mudguard element from a from a car set or something like that, I believe, or like a wheel well type element. Good curves in here. It's not symmetrical, which I like. Keeps the build interesting for me, and it's integrated with the scenery and with the kind of branches and vines and roots and stuff really, really well. This part here looks really simple, but the way that was achieved was a really neat building technique that I don't know if I've seen. So if you build this set, you might be able to notice that. And then on the other side, again, we have like some interesting pieces used. Another window over here, this molded smoke element for the chimney. And I feel like it's integrated really, really well with the environment, with the background, and it comes together really nicely. There are some details inside of Yoda's hut here that I will point out. It's hard to, I don't think there's a great way to take off a portion of the top to get like top access to it. There is an opening here, but there is a bigger opening, as you may have seen, on the back. So we do have an extra lightsaber, and that one is like a silver one instead of just gray. So that's good. There's a suggestion of a bed in there, a crystal of some kind in the corner right there. We have a stove or a fire with a pot, which is right by where the smoke comes out. So that's good attention to detail. Yoda can theoretically be in here. I don't think it's play value a ton. If you tried to get Yoda and Luke in there, it would be pretty tight. I don't think that would work. And if you tried to get R2 in there with them and the snake, it wouldn't work necessarily. It is a little hard to get access in there. Yoda doesn't, his legs don't bend, as I mentioned, so he can be studded a little bit, but not really, because just standing, because the back of his legs don't have studs. So Luke could theoretically lay down or sit down inside of there. Yoda would have to stand or lay loose in there, which is okay. I mean, I don't know how many people would want to display this set while not having these minifigures visible. So I don't necessarily find it like crucial to have a ton of access in there, but because it is built with some extra detail that wouldn't really be noticed unless pointed out or looked at from a certain angle, I feel like maybe it should have accounted more for the accessibility of the minifigures. All in all, I think this set, the build was fine. There's some interesting stuff. Like I said, an interesting page for the how to do all these green tiles. How this was all built up with the different colors underneath is pretty standard now for how they do water, I believe, of different depths. I really liked the build for the hut and the build for this background scenery here. I think that's all really cool. Minifigures are nice, especially if they're exclusive. This is a nice detail. It's attached pretty coolly. It's just on a kind of a hinged ratchet thing that just attaches to the bottom of the wing. It could not really be any other angle than the one it is. Now I can't get it back on there. There we go. So that's kind of the only angle it can be at. It only is one of the wings. If the wings were closed at the time, you would maybe see two of them. It's just one out of like the four on the X-Wing. That's a small detail. It might have been harder to do it, but I actually think this works really well, and it is a nice inclusion, and the angle is really cool. And it gives like an extra narrative to the scene, which I really like an extra action element that I really like. All in all, I think this set is pretty good. I was happy to build it. I liked the Star Wars trench run diorama so much, actually, that it made me more interested in this one than I would have been otherwise. Now that brings me to maybe the elephant in the room here, or the Luke in the hut, so to speak, is the price. So I believe when this set was released, it was $80 US. And then when Lego raised their prices, I think last year, after this had released, this went up to $90. And I believe the Trench Run set was $50 at release and $60 after the price raise. I think I paid $60 for the Trench Run, which I actually wasn't super mad about. Paying $90 for this, and now I think the trash compactor might be $100. I don't even know. And the new dioramas that are coming out might be similarly priced. Yeah, the price per piece, 1,000 pieces for $90. Maybe. I mean, I've been doing videos about other sets that have like 300 pieces and they're like $12, $13. So maybe this should be $30 or $40 or something like that. At $90, it's a set kind of designed for adults to display, so sometimes those have a little bit of a premium. It's a Star Wars thing that could have a licensing premium. I think $90 is too expensive. I paid for this with my own money. I'm not sponsored by any company or any Lego. I'm not earning any money from YouTube right now, and it's expensive, and I wouldn't really recommend anyone to buy this, unfortunately. Had it been $80 like its release price, maybe there's an argument. I still think probably 70 maybe feels okay, just for the amount of stuff you get in here. If I compare this to like some botanical sets that are cheaper but might have a lot of pieces, and similar small pieces and similar like display value, even if they don't have intellectual property associated with them, I think there is a way that this could be a considerable amount cheaper than it is. And I don't love it as much as I liked the Trench Run diorama. This one's just fine for me. I know it includes minifigures. If these add however much value each, if it's $5, if it's more, I don't know. I don't really usually consider that when I'm evaluating a set, but I suppose I should. The Trench Run doesn't have minifigures, so maybe that's why it's cheaper, but also has less parts. It's smaller. It's a different thing. This seems like overkill for me, and if this is the direction the dioramas continue to go in, I'm going to be less inclined in getting them. Now, the recent like Indiana Jones one, I think I'm really excited about, because that seemed like a okay price for what you get as a final model with tons of moving parts and functions, and also a nice display thing. The Jurassic Park T Rex Breakout set was $100, but I think that set had like 1,500 pieces and just felt like more substantial than this. And you get 4 minifigures with that, and you get like the brick built dino and 1.5 Jeeps and all this other stuff. So that one like kind of made sense to me. This one at its current price point does not make sense to me, and so I really can't recommend it. I'm glad I experienced it. The build, like I say, this page for the putting on all the translucent tiles was kind of neat. Now that I have this set, I'm fine with it. I will happily display it next to other Star Wars display things. It's just too expensive, and hopefully that's not always the case in the future. So while I like some things about this set, some things could definitely be improved on. And I mean, actually the build of it, I don't know. I mean, like, I think the build is really, really good. Like, for the most part, the build has some interesting techniques, interesting parts. I don't know if any specific recolors, but there may be some. New print on the R2 and stuff. Like, there's a lot of good stuff in here. So I don't want to be misconstrued thinking that I just don't like all the stuff that came in here. I think this would be a great set if it was cheaper. And so my big gripe is essentially the price for what I felt like I got. So there is a lot to like here. I don't like the price, but I like some of the actual Lego elements of things outside of the money talk. So If you like this video, consider giving it a like, and if you like the video or the videos on my channel, consider subscribing to it so you can stay up to date on all the Lego content I'll be doing in the future, including more Lego Star Wars. I'll be talking about the other diorama, the Trench Run diorama, and also I'll be doing a video about the Inquisitor Scythe soon, and I have a ton more Lego stuff as well, and I'm running a giveaway for a Fast and Furious Speed Champions car once I get to 100 subscribers, so subscribe so you can have a chance to win that. Anyway, until next time, thanks, bye.